This is Woodman here, and what a lovely day we have as we go into this Labor Day weekend. I wanted to talk to you about the first house, the house of self. The first house, also known as the house of self, is a fundamental component of the astrological chart. It governs aspects of our identity, our appearance, as well as our personal demeanor. Let's get more into it in detailed breakdown of the influence of this first house. So, the first house is represented traditionally by its ruling zodiac sign Aries, which is a sign associated with assertiveness, individuality, and even a pioneering spirit. Aries brings a dynamic, action oriented quality to the first house, emphasizing personal initiative as well as an emphasis on self expression. The planet that is traditionally associated with the first house is Mars, the ruling planet of Aries. Mars embodies drive, energy, and a competitive spirit, highlighting themes of personal motivation, as well as courage and ultimately self assertion. If you really think about it, it's probably a good thing to be all of the above, right? Because in this world, you have to assert yourself. You can't shrink yourself or become lesser for anybody else. How does it affect identity and ego? Well, the first house is crucial in shaping your sense of self. It reflects a core identity, one's ego, and how the person perceives themselves. This house helps define who we are at a very, very fundamental level. And ultimately, this will also influence our personal self image and how we present ourselves to the world, right? Is there a saying you never get a second chance to make a good first impression? Appearance. Physical appearance and style are also governed by the first house. This includes everything from physical traits and mannerisms to the way we dress and carry ourselves. It is the house of first impressions and also of the externality of self expression. What about consciousness and focus? Well, our conscious approach to life, including our initial reactions and how we initiate ourselves, um, and how we govern our activities, is influenced by the first house. It is where we first engage with the world and ultimately how we approach new experiences. So, what happens with planetary influences when they are in the first house? Planets located at the first house can have a significant impact on our self expression and our outward persona. Let's talk about each in turn. The sun in the first house enhances confidence and self expression, can make you more noticeable and charismatic with a very, very strong sense of personal identity. All good things happen when the sun shines. Now, the moon in the first house, by contrast, can make you more emotionally expressive and more sensitive. Your moods and emotional states might be more apparent to others. Mercury in the first house. This improves communication skills as well as intellectual expression. You may be perceived as being quick witted and articulate, right? Because, Mercury is a representation for speed or very self assured, quick moving precision. Venus in the first house brings calm and a pleasant demeanor. You might be seen as attractive and even graceful, with a refined sense of style, because, as we know, Venus is like representative of beauty and things cosmetic. Mars in the first house. This is assertiveness and vitality. So you may come across as very energetic. You may come across as very competitive, and you may have a very strong desire to achieve your goals. In other words, you are ready to tackle the world and everything in it. Jupiter in the first house, this expands your sense of self and confidence. You might be perceived as optimistic, generous, as well as expansive in your approach to life. Saturn in the first house. This can bring a serious or reserved demeanor. It may make you appear more disciplined and responsible, and that you'll have a focus on personal growth through logical structure as well as effort. Now, let's talk about we talked about the planetary influences. Let's talk about the transits in the first house. When planets transit the first house, they bring temporary but significant shifts in how you present yourself and how you engage with the world. So let's talk about these individual bodies. Let's talk about the sun. This highlights your personal growth, but also your self awareness. It is a good time when this occurs to focus on self improvement and to set out new goals and objectives. When you're in the moon transit, as opposed to the sun transit we just discussed, this can bring fluctuations to your mood and how you emotionally interact with others. This might be a period of increased emotional visibility. What about Mercury transit? Well, this enhances communication and thought processes related to your personal identity. You may find yourself to be more articulate and ultimately clear in being able to express exactly who you are. Venus transit. This is a favorable time for improving your appearance and attracting positive attention. Relationships and social interactions are definitely highlighted at this juncture. What about the Mars transit? The Mars transit boosts your energy as well as your assertiveness. You may feel more driven to pursue personal goals and initiate new projects. In other words, that Mars transit, it makes you like a real go-getter and someone who's you're not afraid to back down. It won't back down from a challenge. I'm sorry, I came out wrong. And that you ultimately are all about establishing projects and moving them forward with confidence. Jupiter transit. This expands your horizons and boosts your confidence. You might experience growth in how you perceive yourself and also how you come to interact with others. Saturn transit. This brings a focus on discipline and responsibility in how you present yourself. You might feel a need to reassess your personal goals and identity. In other words, this is the seriousness and the sort of self diagnosing that goes on there. What about the connection to the ascendant? The ascendant or rising sign is the zodiac sign that was rising on the eastern horizon at the time of your birth and is closely related to the first house. It represents the outward personality and the way you approach life. The ascendant and the first house are intricately linked, with the ascendant indicating the initial impression you make, and the first house providing a broader context for your self expression as well as your appearance. In conclusion, the first house is pivotal in understanding personal identity as well as appearance and how we engage with the world. Planetary placements and transits in this house can also significantly impact our self presentation and the way we perceive ourselves and how we come to be perceived by others. That's it for this message today. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're new here, welcome aboard. It's a safe space. If you're returning, thank you for your support. I love you all so much. We're signing off here. Woodman out. And may the Most High God bless you with abundance, good health, good wealth, as well as prosperity, and that you are always protected in your day to day. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.